I do believe one of the biggest obstacles in this field is to bring together perception and knowledge about the world. And one of the things that makes humans particularly powerful in perceiving their world is that they know the world they live in. They have knowledge and about how things are, how things evolve, how things move. If you take a concrete example, self-driving cars, right? If as a human I see a ball rolling into the street, then from world knowledge I can and know, and I will expect that some child will come running after it, right? The question is, how can you equip machines with such world knowledge, right? That they can anticipate and predict what's going to happen next. And I think that's one of the biggest challenges. Like many researchers in the field of computer vision, I had been working on more classical optimization-based approaches. Now it seems increasingly these get replaced by learning-based approaches. But I do believe that the future lies on the interface of both, and that there is a value in creating the best of both worlds. Because in many settings, we don't have training data to train a neural network, right? In settings where ground truth is very hard to get, right? Then you need classical optimization approaches. And very often you will find that the self-supervised learning techniques that people advocate, they use exactly the kinds of loss functions that we use to optimize, except that they use them to train the networks. So there is kind of already an interplay of these two methodologies happening as we speak. Indeed, I have created probably about a dozen startups over the years that I've been involved in as an advisor, as a co-founder, as a venture capitalist, as a business angel. So in many different roles. Some of them have gone up to become billion-dollar companies, right? Some maybe not as successful. So there's a range, right? And if I should say, what is the biggest challenge? The biggest challenge for high-tech startups being driven by techies like me is that you are so fascinated by your own technology that you don't think about it from the perspective of the user, the customer, right? And that must be the core question for any successful company is, who is my customer? What do they want? What are they actually willing to pay for, right? And not be driven by, this is an amazing technology, I'm sure everyone's gonna buy it. No, you have to understand the needs of your customer, and you have to cater to these needs and deliver what the world really needs, and in order to be successful. And I think that's typically the biggest challenge. So we've worked with a lot of people across disciplines, and I love that myself. As for example, right, everyone talks about AlphaFold. Well, we actually started in 2016. We had publications showing that you can do protein prediction from amino acid sequence with convolutional networks. I believe one of the first works in this field that really paved the way for later developments like AlphaFold. And I do believe the key to success is that you have to approach others, you have to be willing to get to their level of, you have to understand their language, their terminology, their needs, the challenges they're facing. So that requires a certain interdisciplinary background. And I do have that. I studied physics, I did research in the neurosciences, and then later switched into machine learning and computer vision. And with that, I have a good basis to be able to understand other areas of sciences and understand the kinds of problems they're trying to tackle, and converting these into our terminology and language in order to solve them.